Andrew G. McCabe, The Threat, How the FBI Protects America in the Age of Terror and Trump. In the wake of September 11, 2001, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, underwent a radical transformation in order to adapt to the new world shaped by terrorism. In The Threat, How the FBI Protects America in the Age of Terror and Trump, Andrew G. McCabe recounts the Bureau's shift in focus from high-level criminal activities to preventing acts of terrorism. This summary explores the expansion and restructuring of the Counterterrorism Division, the impact of terrorism on the FBI's internal culture, and the investigative techniques employed by the agency. Moreover, it examines the changing strategies of FBI agents and the challenges presented by modern technology and the current political climate.
FBI's transformation post 9/11. The September 11 attacks brought about a significant change in the U.S. federal law enforcement agency, the FBI. The FBI had always investigated terrorists, but after the incident, it shifted its central focus to prevent terrorism and protect American citizens. Overnight, the funding and resources for counterterrorism operations grew exponentially, and dozens of counterterrorism units were created. The attacks also unified the FBI's culture, which was previously divided along departmental and interpersonal lines. Enterprise theory. The FBI has always been dedicated to keeping Americans safe, and that includes combating organized crime and terrorism. Enterprise theory is a method used by the FBI to target entire organizations instead of just individual criminals. With this technique, agents can prosecute members of criminal networks for all crimes committed by the group. The first step is to prove the existence of the enterprise by gathering evidence of connections between individuals. The second step is to link specific members to two or more crimes committed by the organization. To gather evidence, the FBI uses traditional methods such as witness testimony and more advanced techniques such as inserting undercover agents into criminal groups. These undercover agents, known as undercover employees, are highly skilled in gaining the trust of a criminal network. Enterprise theory is a powerful tool in the fight against organized crime, and the FBI continues to use this technique to keep America safe. The FBI's paradigm shift. The FBI's need for both intelligence and strength has led to a shift in their tactical approach. Muscling methods that explore every minor lead to gather intelligence have given way to targeting techniques that employ smart and precise data gathering for investigations. In contrast to the resource-heavy muscling approach that opens multiple cases, targeting involves building a database of potential suspects and their associates, querying the data, and searching for significant connections. This new approach has proved to be a more efficient and productive way of identifying suspects, confirming their involvement, and ultimately making an arrest. Obama's solution to abusive interrogations. Following public and international condemnation of the torture and ill-treatment of terrorist suspects at the notorious Guantanamo Bay detention facility, President Obama established the High-Value Detainee Interrogation Group, HIG, in 2009. This newly created organization aimed to introduce professionalism and accountability to the questioning of terrorist suspects. The HIG was limited to using only legal and humane interrogation tactics that are already permitted by the FBI or listed in the U.S. Army Field Manual. It categorized its targets into pre-designated and pop-up, with the latter becoming a crucial interrogation target after Umar Farouk Abdelmutalab attempted to detonate explosives on a flight from Amsterdam to Detroit in 2009. The HIG implemented a new protocol in which all FBI interrogations became a part of criminal investigations. This strategically placed group ensured transparency in intelligence gathering and maintained the safety of the American public. Demystifying the FBI's investigative powers. The FBI's investigative powers are governed by highly structured rules that are constrained by law and accountable to the government. There are 3 levels of investigations, each with different rules and permissions: assessment, preliminary investigation, and full investigation. An agent's investigative tools are limited in the basic level, but they can use CCTV and order account information in the other 2. The FBI needs a warrant from a court to search a suspect's house or monitor electronic communications. The rules that structure the behavior of law enforcement agencies are significant in safeguarding citizens' rights and delivering justice impartially and fairly. The summary sheds light on the truth behind the FBI's investigative powers and unravels the Hollywood myth. The FBI under fire. The president's mistrust and its impact on law enforcement. In a healthy democracy, each section of the state should be free from internal or external influence to perform its responsibilities. However, things are not working as they should in the United States, with the president compromising the work of his own law enforcement agencies. The reason why President Trump does not trust the FBI is that he sees the Bureau as a vital part of the Washington establishment. The president's mistrust also extends to the CIA and other government institutions. One example of the president's mistrust of U.S. intelligence occurred when North Korea announced in July 2017 that they had completed a series of intercontinental missile tests. Trump claimed these tests were a hoax, stating Vladimir Putin had told him so. This claim contradicted existing evidence, but the president continued to insist he believed Putin. Furthermore, the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election showcased the president's mistrust of law enforcement agencies. The FBI opened an investigation, which became more complex since several members of Trump's campaign team had close ties to Russian officials. President Trump attempted to influence the outcome of the Russia investigation continuously by expressing partisan views. This corrosive behavior directly influences the decisions of judges and juries, which is detrimental to democracy. In conclusion, the current president poses a severe challenge to the FBI, but the agency has faced organized crime syndicates and deadly terrorists in the past. Despite the criticism, the FBI remains resolute and steadfast in upholding the rule of law, protecting the Constitution, and supporting their own law enforcement agencies.
Throughout the threat, McCabe emphasizes the FBI's evolution in response to the constantly changing landscape of terrorism and crime. The 9/11 attacks and the subsequent focus on counterterrorism operations marked a turning point in its organization and operation, with the agency adopting new techniques and methods, including enterprise theory and targeting strategies. Despite facing pressure from the current political climate and the tactics employed by President Trump, the FBI continues its mission to uphold the law and protect the people of the United States. As the world changes, so must the FBI adapt to overcome the challenges that lie ahead.